is Richard, and this is the Dude Be a Show. Welcome back. How is everyone doing today? And before we actually get into that, let me introduce my hosts. I don't think we did this properly on our first episode, but we have Brandon as one of our hosts. He's actually the newest member to the Dude Be a Show. He is our producer. He's an amazing all-around guy. He does things, and he's very much into technology. Then we have Jose. He just shows up sometimes, and then he makes us laugh. And he's an amazing all-around person who maybe sometimes likes to poison his cousin with pizza. JK. No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't do that. But our last host is actually Juan. And the reason I bring it up is that he's actually out this week due to food poisoning from pizza. And he won't be joining us today. But if you stay tuned, we'll tell you guys what type of pizza poisoned him so you know to never go there ever again. So with that being said, how's everyone doing today? Brandon, what's new with you today, bro? What's new in the life of Mr. Brandon?
Well, nothing much really. Just been chilling, finishing homework, just enjoying my vacations as much as I can, and just having a good time hanging out with friends and whatnot here in the podcast that we have here in Dubious.
Oh, there you go. Jose, what have you been up to, bro?
Not much, man. I'm just literally trying to stay busy. This COVID, fight boredom, man. This I'm sure we're all together when I'm saying we're fed up with this, man, and we're running out of things to do and learn.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely. And I'm sure there's that thing we all started back in March, oh wow, we have time to do things now. I'm gonna pick up coding. I'm gonna learn how to play the guitar. And we did it for a couple weeks and gave up. And maybe those listening, hey, go back to it. We're gonna be doing this for a little longer. Might as well pick up that guitar.
Yeah, it's funny because I tried learning coding and I kind of stop in the middle of it. So
it's perfect time to keep going, Brandon. We're gonna be on this COVID shit for a little more.
I actually 100% believe that. I think we're gonna. I hate to say it, but I don't see us getting out of COVID for a while. I think it's gonna become something similar to the yearly flu, where it just comes back around, and then we take the test. We don't take not the test, but the vaccine, the flu shot, the COVID shot, whatever. We can go ahead and try and take those. Maybe they work, maybe they don't, and then they just kind of alter it every year for general strains of the virus that could possibly come out, which kind of sucks to say, but I really don't see this ever going away.
Getting better soon.
I mean, I can see things getting better. I just don't see I just don't see the COVID virus going away. It's I think it's gonna stick around no matter what. Just like I said, similar to the flu, and then that way you just take your flu shot, or just try and be a little bit more careful towards the end of the year, and then you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stay safe. Or try your best to stay safe at least.
Yeah. So how today? Today actually is Sunday.
Yeah.
So what did you guys do on the weekend? Other than
nothing.
work, did you guys work? No.
Yeah.
Dude, I have made it a personal mission of mine to never work the weekends unless I absolutely have to. I actually played D&D yesterday, so I don't know if you guys have played D&D, but it's actually pretty fun, especially when you get a really good group to play with. It makes the experience so much fun, and honestly, yeah, go ahead, bro.
I'd love to play. I've never played. I've heard you play before, and I've always been interested, and I'm scared to bring it up. I feel like it's past my time where it's people if I were to go show up, I'm gonna get God knows what happens in D&D, but I think I'm gonna the equivalent of getting my shit ran.
I actually listen to podcasts of where people playing D&D and stuff like that. It's actually very interesting and it's not bad. I would actually like to play it. Beat his ass, man. Beat his For those that don't know, Richie, I guess he has a pet, and he went to go chase him.
You gotta kick his ass.
Wait, what
No,
happened?
no, I'm
Linus?
playing. I'm playing. Don't Pete. No one call PETA. He didn't whip that cat's ass.
Oh, I don't know what he was doing. He was tearing up the carpet. I was like, what the fuck's going on? And I'm surprised you guys heard that because the input should only be my microphone. But anyways, that's not here nor there. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck my cat's doing right now, but he was like
He was
doing
going
something.
ham.
Yeah, he was ripping out the carpet right now. Jesus. But yeah, guys. So other than that, that's cool. D&D, it's pretty fun. Honestly, what I would say is you really need a good imagination for it. Unless you start buying stuff for your campaign.
D&D is actually not bad. It's actually very interesting. I'm pretty sure all of us could try playing D&D. Maybe if we get a dungeon master and stuff like that on here, we could probably try it out.
Yeah.
What's Dungeon Master?
It's basically the person who enforces the rules.
Oh,
It's
you need
like I
someone
said.
like that?
Yeah, because so D&D is basically it's like playing an RPG game, except there's a person who's actively making the levels and the different encounters that you got to do, and like creating the monsters that you got to fight.
So this person is like in charge but doesn't play?
Basically.
Got it.
So-
That sounds like something perfect for me.
So what they do is like they design the encounter. So like let's say today's mission is you gotta go liberate a small town or something, and the people playing would do that while the DM he doesn't try and kill you. I mean, he kind of does, but the main thing the DM tries to do is make it fun for everybody, so that everyone's having a good time while playing. You know what I mean?
Got it. I'd be definitely interested to try it. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, for sure, bro. I mean, we can give it a shot.
Yeah, that'd be fun. So now that we're on that, I'd love to talk about just nostalgia stuff like that, because I know that like D&D has a big following, and people will there's people out there that don't agree with those people that play D&D and think of them like, oh, they're nerds, this and that, and you're free to do whatever you want. And me, I don't think they're nerds. I'd love to learn how to play. Fuck it, But one thing I do have a problem with is WWE fans outside of being children, older WWE fans. They
all right.
In case you guys didn't know, there's definitely a following for that, and it's older people that pay constantly for these pay-per-views as if they were UFC fights, boxing fights, which we all watch. But
Right.
I wanted to hear what you guys think about all this. Would you pay for a WWE pay-per-view just for yourself, not for a party?
I want to say something before we get into it. I actually remember that I'm pretty sure Juan is would know who I'm talking about, but there was this kid in middle school that was really into wrestling, Raw and WWE and all that stuff, and also was really into anime. But I mean, nowadays, who isn't into anime? But I digress. Yeah. This kid was super into fucking wrestling, and he would literally act out I forgot the guy's name, the one that undead guy. What's his name?
Undertaker.
Undertaker. Yeah, he would literally do his fucking poses and all that stuff, do the eye thing, the hair,
the eye thing with the tongue out.
Yeah, he would literally do all of that, and it went from middle school, I think, to high school. Keep doing that, and I actually bumped into him in college when I was going to Chaffey College, and I thought he was gonna be a weeb. A single weeb. I thought he was gonna get fat, your typical single weeb. And I mean, not saying that all weebs are the same, because we get a big variety of them. But
okay, you know what? let me ask you something real quick.
Yeah.
What's a weeb, just for the audience?
So a weeb
that
is
know?
Basically a person that's very into a certain type of niche for anime. At this point, it's for anime. But it could be anything really, but it's somebody that's very into something passionately. And
okay, cool. So now that they know you, go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So then I saw him in college, a couple years back before he joined the military, and he still acted the same way, surprisingly. And it's kind of not, I don't want to say disturbing, but he was a very big wrestler guy still. So.
Oh, he still is a big wrestler guy.
Oh yeah. So I really don't.
I'm telling you, there's people like that are big into this shit. and I don't understand. Yeah, so my question is, what do you think of like me? Not if you didn't really know me as much as you do now, but you heard that like on a Sunday I am buying these pay-per-views to WWE, but inviting nobody other than just for me myself.
Okay, so here's what I think. So to answer your first question is I wouldn't personally pay pay-per-view for any of that stuff. Wrestling's cool, but I mean I barely watch it in a group setting, so I 100% would. So I don't really watch it in like an individual setting. I haven't watched wrestling since I was a kid, and then to kind of add to what you said earlier about like why someone would do that, I think it's for the same reason that anyone holds on to anything that kind of seems childish. I think it reminds them of a simpler time. Maybe
like
it's
nostalgia.
Yeah, or you know what I mean. Like maybe it has some relevance to them. Maybe they grew up with their dad or like, brother or whatever.
I don't want people thinking I'm hating on them, because like I find it very interesting, and I can get behind people that like make podcasts about the WWE. I love hearing about it. I just can't understand how like it has a follow base like that. I wonder if it's like strictly for like a livelihood, for like a marketing purpose. Like I know I can make money doing this. Like is it that, or do they just have a passion for the WWE?
Right. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to begin with. You know what I mean? Like I said, I can only assume. I can only assume, you know, that it has something to do with their childhood, and maybe, you know, because of that, it means a lot to them. And the only reason I say that is because I'm like 29 years old and I still play Pokemon, right? Some people might think that's like, damn, dude, like get a life, right? Grow up or something. But the thing is like Pokemon has a lot of like significance to me in a big way. It's something that I like made a lot of friends with, especially in high school. I met like my group of friends there, and we all play Pokemon. Mm-hmm. So I know some people might think that that's really weird. But I don't know, you know, like maybe it's that kind of thing for them. Maybe they just like the drama of it, because I know it's like real drama heavy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you know, this week on, I was about to say Dragon Ball Z. You know, this week on Raw, you know, like watch so and so do this to so and so in the cage match, tables, ladders. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. It is pretty hype, especially when they start like really going at each other's neck. Like it's pretty entertaining, but I don't know that like I said that Definitely. I ever sit there and watch it myself.
Yeah, and I kind of get it, because just like how you said about Dragon Ball Z, you were about to say it, but with my dad, when I don't want to miss an episode of, I don't know, Attack of Titans or Naruto or Boruto at this point, but anything right now animated, my dad's always like, oh, you're almost a 30-year-old and you're still watching cartoons and shit. And I was like, well, no, Dad, it's not a cartoon anymore. It's an anime.
maybe it is just that, like, you know, people are never going to see the view of it. Yeah. And to each their own. Do what makes you happy, man. Yeah.
But I mean, to my defense, anime is not cartoon. It's not a cartoon because it's super
not
dramatic.
What it's become now, dude. No, it is crazy what anime is now.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't like really anime, cool, and like I just watched my first anime, and it's about fucking volleyball.
Oh, that anime is so hard. That anime is so badass.
I know, dude. I'm in love with it. Like, dude, I'm over. I went out and bought a fucking volleyball net and a volleyball, and I'm over here, you know.
No shit.
Yeah, dude. Like, and then I stopped myself. I was like, yo, like, god damn.
Yeah, I remember my first sports anime. It was Prince of Tennis.
Oh god,
I
gotta check that out.
Yeah, that shit got me into tennis, actually.
Bro, you to those out there that don't know about this anime I'm talking, check it out, bro. Slappy Ball is the shit.
Slappy Ball? Oh my god, it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I really, you know, okay, so I really want to talk about anime now that we're on the topic.
Yeah.
Let's go and wrap up. Let's wrap up this talk about
fuck the WWE
of really real wrestling, and then we'll go to anime. So and just to be clear, it's not like I hate on wrestling. Like I said, I like wrestling.
Yeah,
I used to like wrestling, I'd still watch it honestly, but
I don't want none of you fucks showing up with the steel chair to my house.
Yeah, Could you imagine that? Hey, we're gonna sell this right now.
Talking shit. You know what? Talking shit, bro. I'm shipping this fucking steel cage right now.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean? So I'm not, like I said, I don't hate on anyone who watches it. I wouldn't personally do it. It's not really like my shit, so I don't really give a fuck. But it is cool. It is badass, and maybe some people like it, maybe some people don't like it. I don't, whatever. All I know is that if you're into it, if it's fun for you, then fuck it, go for it. You know what I mean?
By all means, do it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yep. All right. So about this anime. So what did you want to bring into the conversation?
So what are you guys' thoughts on anime right now? And I guess the first thing is, do you consider anime a child's Like, do you consider it children's cartoons, or do you consider it an adult form of entertainment?
So, I don't know if you want to start, Jose, because I mean, I have thousands of hours under my belt. So
that's what I'm saying. You guys are anime experts, and I'm fairly new to the game.
Yeah.
So I believe anime. Growing up, we all watched cartoons, and I'm assuming I watched Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z. They're all animes. But I never really thought about it as an anime, and now that I'm watching all these that are coming out, people are trying to get me to watch, like I hear Attack on Titan, I hear like Death Note, I think they told me. I've never watched anything myself, but for some reason I walked in on my sister watching that Slappy Ball volleyball anime, and it caught my attention. And
she was watching it for other reasons, bro.
Yeah, so then I was like, you know what? Because she's big into anime too. She watches all this. So I was like, I gave it a shot. And then, I found myself going through, fucking 2 seasons of it in, 2 nights.
Mm-hmm.
And,
no shit.
Yeah, dude. So then I came to the conclusion that anime, what I was reading into is, these character developments, this story, that you fall in love with it, and you're just, addicted to this shit. And I personally think now it's changed my whole,
perspective,
my mindset on it. Yeah, dude, I can see why people love this. And, like you said, do what you love. And now I think, now with Twitter coming around, before I can see how, oh, you watch anime, you're a nerd, or, you're a weeb, whatever Brandon was calling him earlier. But,
yeah.
Now it's it's cool to watch anime almost. You don't watch anime, you're not a cool kid anymore. Is what I'm getting the sense out of. I personally wish I need to get back in. I need to start watching some of these, because that volleyball shit, dude. Volleyball anime. Think about it, volleyball. And that's the only experience anime I have. And dude, I am sold. Sign me up. I'll watch all the shit you want me to watch.
So I'm gonna just. I'm gonna say it like this. What I think is special about anime is that it tells a lot of stories that we probably couldn't, or not hear or see or whatever. So it tells a lot of stories that we wouldn't normally see on TV in America, right? I think American TV is kind of boring for the most part. I mean, don't get me wrong, as a kid, I used to watch a lot of TV shows. Just a few that stick out to me is the OC on Fox 11, the Jersey Shore, Next, just a lot of reality TV. And then one day, I was watching Cartoon Network, and then, I mean, I don't know if this happened for, everyone else, but for me, I was watching Cartoon Network and it got late one day on a Saturday. And then, I saw this robot walk onto a ship, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And there's all these cartoons started playing. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? These cartoons are cool. And they had really cool fight scenes. And then they started saying bad words. And I was like, yo, these fucking cartoons, man. So it was, you know what I mean? For me, that was my first exposure to anime. And dude, it was it opened up the gates for what was possible. You know what I mean? Once I started with this, I was like, holy shit. I can really watch stuff. I can really see stuff that I kind of really like, and I like that, the animation, and it keeps me engaged and it keeps me wanting to watch. And then when the stories are hard-hitting stories that touch on shit you'd never, expect
these
to.
These stories aren't child friendly anymore.
No, not at all.
I've seen it. Motherfuckers are getting chopped up and shit.
Yeah, some of these enemies are gnarly, and it's not to say that you shouldn't watch them, right?
No, but that attracts the audience of the older crowds. Yo, they're killing people? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so it goes pretty damn hard. I'm not gonna lie. So ever since then, to me, it was just like, yo, let's go. Like this anime stuff, I'm here for it. And for like to kind of echo like what Jose said, is there's some animes that I watched that I never thought I'd really like. And one of them is called Food Wars, which is basically about this kid who learns how to cook food. And you're kind of like, what the fuck? A kid learning to cook food? Like, okay, don't give me that. But dude, when I tell you this anime is so badass, and it like made me want to start cooking, and it made me like appreciate the intricacies of how people, like what it takes to become a master chef and do these things. Bro, it was like next level stuff for me. Honestly, it was really next. I'm dead ass. Like,
yeah, actually, for me, when I started watching Food Wars, it kind of rekindled my passion for cooking in a way, because I started making the same dishes that they make in the show. And it's not easy because they don't explain everything completely. They just like, they are like, oh yeah, I use these ingredients, and they show you the basics, but they don't really go into detail like a recipe card. But there are people out there on YouTube that do the same thing, that are actual like super professional chefs, and they find a way to make it. So I kind of like replicate it off of their vision. And yeah, like in my case, I want to say I got exposed to it with Sailor Moon and fucking Dragon Ball Z in Mexico.
Same.
When I was living in Mexico. And the thing is, one of the things that I noticed was that in Mexico, they don't really they don't really block a lot of the bad words. They actually translate it the way it is. For instance, in Dragon Ball Z, here in the States, when the Majin Buu arc happened, in Mexico, there's a scene where like Majin Buu flips Goku off and stuff like that, I think. And here in the States, they don't show it, but in Mexico they do. So it's it was very interesting. So that was my first exposure, but like that's what got me hooked onto it. That's when I started watching Digimon and actually started liking it more than Pokemon in a way. And started watching I was more interested into those instead of like Looney Tunes and Animaniacs and all that stuff. But and also I would stay up late to watch Toonami and you watch Yu Yu Hakusho and all those good animes and whatnot. But now compared to back then, anime has changed a lot. It's more, it's gotten to the point where like they make such good movies or even episodes where I've literally cried in a couple of movies, like Your Name Is, that's one of a good anime. Your something in April, I forgot the name. Your Lie in April, and there's a lot of good drama animes out there too that are nothing compared to soap operas or novellas or anything like that, man. It's just like a whole different thing that gets to like goes in deep into your heart and soul. But
definitely
a lot of people don't really like sit down and want to watch those things and really try to see how it is. And I could say that because of my ex mother-in-law was kind of like that, a skeptic, until one day I sat down and I started playing a movie, which is Your Name Is, and now I was watching it with my ex-wife, and they were so invested into it that to the point where they were talking to the TVs, being like, "Hey, do this, do that." Yeah,
that's funny.
So it's just like people just have to give it a chance, especially nowadays. Because back then, I'm gonna tell you right now that if you go back and watch some of the anime, like Sailor Moon, like you're gonna be like, "Man, this shit's ass, bro." I don't even know why I watched this shit when I was younger, but. But
I mean, Sailor Moon's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like Sailor Moon when I watched it. That was one of the first animes that I got into as well. It was like Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z. So it was like a lot of those Toonami. One that I was really like, one that I would say is probably the one that like really got me into anime. It was Death Note. Which is like a psychological thriller, and it has all this drama in it. And it's something that I never expected to, really like. because the premise is kind of like stupid, right? Like this kid gets a book that can kill other people, and then you're just kind of like, whatever, But dude, if it wasn't like the best anime that I ever watched, so it, to me, anime it's pretty special, and honestly, because of it, I've stopped watching most regular TV. I don't really, I have like a streaming package on my, through Spectrum, which is my internet provider, and I don't, I don't ever use it. The only time I ever remember using it is just to watch like the Rick and Morty premieres because we have Cartoon Network on it. But like, yeah, dude, anime, it's so like, it's such a cool experience when you give it a chance. And I think one of the shows that like really made my heart bleed and it kind of like made me cry was Full Metal Alchemist. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that show or ever watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that show, it was pretty intense, like it's two brothers basically trying to figure out a way to get their bodies back to normal while also, trying to unravel the mysteries of life and death and dealing with God and heaven and hell. I know, it might sound like a very religious anime, but it's honestly not, I don't want to say too much for the people who hear this podcast and decide they want to go watch Full Metal Alchemist. Because if you're hearing us talk about it, I honestly, if you don't watch any other anime, please make sure you watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I guarantee you'll fall in love with every character in there. And what's so special about them is you get to watch them grow as people, and it's so funny to say as people, but you get to watch them grow as people through every episode. And then by the time you're done with the season, they might be someone completely different from where you started. And maybe their values got shaken up, or you know what I mean? And maybe their ideologies changed. But to me, that's what makes anime so special is you get to go on this ride with these characters and watch them change. Mm-hmm. And then before you know it, like you're just so invested. You're like, damn, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm telling you. This character development in anime is ridiculous, dude. And I noticed that from that volleyball anime. Like, it's fucking volleyball, and I'm over here invested into these characters. Like I'm hoping for the best for them and shit, as if it's like real live TV. And then like I see them lose them like they're whatever, they're in this tournament and they lose a match and they look so sad. I'm like, fuck, man, I really thought they were gonna win this time. Like, no.
I feel it, bro. I feel it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude, that anime fucked me up.
Yeah, and it's just.
But it's so funny, huh? Oh, go ahead, Brandon.
Very funny.
And it's crazy how you get so into it that you see that there's
you get invested.
No, yeah, but like you see that there's like 3 seasons, 4 seasons, and next thing you watch it all and you binge watch that shit in a day. Yeah, you're like, oh, I got homework to do, but fuck that, I'm watching this shit first.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I've been in those like in that benching hole because you stuck. It's like a black hole. You get stuck into that shit, and once you finish it, you start looking for the sequel or you start looking for something similar, and then you find something and you stay stuck to that shit. You don't get up. Because I spent a whole weekend watching anime one time. Well, several times. I'm not gonna lie, but it's just that it's kind of like reading a book, but you're watching it in a way. And it's just like you just get really invested in. And nowadays, it teaches you a lot of morals, a lot of good things of life without having to actually go out there and experience them. One good example would be Naruto. Naruto is one of the big ones since it's been going on. It went on for like what, 15 years roughly.
Yeah, it was a long anime.
Yeah, it's just also you just have to pay attention to the whole story and overall and know what's going on into it and stuff like that. But I just love being able to see the hidden messages that the author's trying to put out and stuff like that into it, especially when you break it down. But yeah.
Definitely interesting.
So I kind of want to like bring this back to our old topic. would you pay to go see an anime movie in the theater?
I've done it before.
Yeah, I would say yeah, because of like, for instance,
I saw Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, the Dragon Ball Z. I went to go watch it too. I watch it online because you know how people like leak that shit. I watched it online and then I watched it on the theaters. So, but
really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but honestly,
did you feel guilty?
No,
or what?
No, but I mean, I don't regret going to the theaters watching it because it was a whole different experience.
Yeah, I went to go see the Dragon Ball Z movie in theaters with a couple of our friends, and I really was surprised at how good Dragon Ball Z. I mean, Dragon Ball Z is pretty cool. I like it, but it's even better in a movie setting. You know, when you got that 3D surround sound system, you got those leather chairs. Because we went to AMC, right?
Yeah.
And I don't mean to bring up some random shit, but dude, I love AMC's movie theaters. Like their chairs, and I mean the customer service isn't like super great, but the chairs and like the different stuff that you can do, like buy alcohol or buy snacks or whatever. Like, I get down with that shit. I like it. So
sounds like you miss it.
Oh, dude, if you don't even know how much I miss it. I love the movies, dude. I really did love going to the movies, even though the experience would cost you like $50. Yeah, you know, like $80 every time you go. Because I don't know about you guys, but I like to buy snacks, and I like to buy drinks, and I like to do the whole movie experience. I don't always buy food, but I've been on a few dates where I do buy, like nachos or burgers or whatever, and it can get a little bit expensive, but it's fun in the end for me at least.
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting because I've gone to the movies in other countries like Argentina and Mexico, and obviously it's the same thing as anywhere else as here and stuff like that. But one thing is that I love going to theaters in Mexico because it's dirt cheap. It's super cheap.
Is it
really?
It is, bro. Whatever you would spend half. Let's say Richie, you go on a date, right? And normally you spend $60 to $100, $80.
Well, like so I like to buy the Dolby Digital surround.
Okay.
So you're paying a premium for like the extra chair. So I'm gonna give you a reason, and this is like my logic to the movies. Okay, so I can buy the cheap tickets, and I can go to like the Terra Vista and spend like $10 on a ticket, whatever. But so here's my logic, right? I'm an adult, dude. I got money. Okay, let's start there. And like, if there's one thing that ruins my fucking movie going experience, is people that are fucking like talking during the movie. Or like little kids crying in the fucking movie theaters. Yeah. Like, dude, that shit takes me out, bro. So the way I see it is if you spend a little extra money for the IMAX or the Dolby Digital or whatever, most people aren't going to be down to do that. And so 9 out of 10 times, don't go you like fucking spoiling my secret out here to the meta, okay? So 9 out of 10 times, if you're spending the extra like $10 just so you can have a good movie going experience, which is kind of fucked up, right? But I promise you, if you spend the extra money, you end up having a better experience just because the like what they're trying to do in that specific showing of the movie is better. B, you won't get those little shit kids, fucking up your movie experience.
Richie, do you hate children?
No, I don't hate kids. I just hate when people fucking like yell and shit, or they go ooh. Like, dude, really? Like,
don't open the door.
Only in Cali.
He's behind you.
Or like those random ass kids that like their parents let them go out for the first time, and they're like in the back of the movie theater, trying to touch each other up and shit. Like, dude, come on. Like, I get it. I know that this is like probably the only time you guys got to be doing some horny shit, but yo, come on. I'm trying to watch a fucking movie out here. But yeah, so that's my secret technique. You spend the extra money to get into the expensive movie theaters, and then you don't get fucked up. Then you can actually get like not room service, but then you get people like all you gotta do is push a button and they show up, and then they get you whatever you need. You need a refill on your Coke, got it. You need more alcohol, got it. You need food, got it. Like, trust me when I tell you, it is the most worth it experience. And if you become a member, like a gold member or whatever, then you get discounts on top of all your stuff, and then you get like rewards points, and then after a while it just pays for itself. It's godlike. Oh yeah. It's so godlike.
No, yeah, and so the thing is, I love going to those movie theaters. I'll spend the extra money for it. Now, what I'm saying is that in Mexico, they have a VIP section, which I think is kind of like the IMAX or whatever. But the VIP section is kind of like a restaurant. So there's this button you press on your armrest, and then somebody from the movie theater comes in and takes your order while the movie is going, or even before the movie's going. Same thing, liquor and all that stuff. And it's awesome. I love it. And here in Washington, they have kind of like the same thing, but it's the specific theater, and it's like almost an hour and a half away from here. And I think if I would do a date, it would end up being like almost $200 here, right?
Wait, is it one of those that has like the bed and stuff though?
Yeah, like it's not a bed, but like you could recline your fucking chairs.
Yeah,
like all the way
like
back.
The luxury stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
where you get like a dinner and I know what you're talking about. They have those out here.
For what I've seen, that they only have that in that one theater, not in the other ones. But in like AMC and stuff like that, you get your recliner. Like for what I've seen, I haven't seen any liquor and all stuff here. I've seen it in California when I went to visit, but in Mexico, you get the whole thing for how much was it? Like 300 and something pesos, which was $25 to $35.
Do quick math
for like two people, $25 to $35.
Well, it's less than that because you said like about 300 pesos. The peso, if I'm not mistaken, it's upwards of 20 right now.
Yeah, roughly. So
20 pesos
less
per
than
buck
20.
Or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're paying like 15.
Yeah, so it's dirt cheap, man. I love it, dude. But you know, like even in Mexico, they get new things going in like 4D and stuff like that. But I didn't really like 4D.
Well, like what you were saying, that stuff that you're talking about, that luxury theater, they're becoming a thing out here in LA now. It's like we still got to drive a little bit out, but dude, they're expensive. But you get like a whole bed, and you can order liquor, like your glass of wine, a dinner, everything, man.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
And it's okay. If we think going to the movies, just AMC is expensive, what the fuck you think that costs?
But yeah, like even when I was in Korea's theaters are super different too. Oh my god, dude! They even have like this section where it's couple section, so it's kind of like it's literally a bubble, and then you just sit in there, so you get your privacy and stuff. So I don't know what you could do in there or anything like that. I've never really been in one of those. I just saw it, and when I was walking into the theaters, I saw the little bubble. But other than that, it was actually pretty cool.
That sounds tight. Like I said, I love the movies. I miss it so much. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm too bougie for the movies. Like I've been on dates where like we bring in like burritos.
Yeah. So you sneak them into the theater.
Yeah, the girl sneaks it in the bag. And I know, they're not dumb. The people at the fucking concession stand, they're not stupid. When they rip your tickets to let you in, they can smell that crap on you, but they're not getting paid enough to give a shit. So, you know what I mean? Like,
I can smell the double chicken and guac.
Yeah, no shit. So, like, it's fun, dude. To me, that's like one of the experiences that I really like missed the most from pre-pandemic. But you know what's hilarious is that I don't really care for the drive-in.
Oh,
I love the movies. Don't really give a shit about the drive-in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if we're talking about that, what I miss the most is like a theme park. Like I hadn't been to a theme park even before COVID in a while, but like now that it got taken away from me, that's all I could think about. Like I want to go to Knott's.
Knott's. I know that
Knott's,
Disney is open, right?
No way.
Yeah, because I saw.
No, they closed.
No, it's open.
Yeah, Disney's closed. They're using it right now as a
for vaccines, right?
Yeah, they're using it as a vaccine station.
Believe it or not,
I think
downtown Disney's
believe it or
open,
not,
okay.
Mickey Mouse pulled the fucking plug, whether it hurt his balls or not. He knew. He knew I need to shut it down, or like this media's gonna storm me.
Yeah, so that I'm not gonna lie to you, Jose. I miss theme parks too. I don't think to the point where I'm like, dang, I really want to go back. But dude, what I really miss, honestly, the most is like the Halloween version of those things.
Oh yeah.
Like one year for my birthday, we went to Universal Studio Horror Nights, And dude, that shit was so tight. Like I'd been before, but you know it's different when you're an adult. You go, you can get drunk or get buzzed or whatever, and then have a good time.
Yeah.
And I really missed that. I wanted to do it again last year for my birthday, but with COVID being around, we couldn't really do much, so it kind of sucked. But I that's what I missed the most in terms of like amusement parks, and I really love Disney. Getting drunk at Disneyland is pretty badass. I don't know if you guys have ever been or what, but
I've been to both parks, but I've never had the opportunity to get drunk in Disney. So.
Oh, dude, I got shit faced. I had a Disney pass for 2 years, and those of you listening, I have the formula, man. So they let you bring in like water, energy drinks, and if you go down to the liquor store and buy the big Monster, the one that has the little plastic wrap over the can.
yeah,
To those of you that have so you know when you open up that can, the plastic stays on the lid.
Yeah.
Like it's really hard to get it off. So if you take it off, pour out some of your Monster, and you pour in Jaeger in there, you got a Jaeger bomb, and it's a big fucking can. So when you lit it back up, the plastic goes right over it again, like it was never touched. So I would walk into Disney every single night with my Jaeger bombs. And I would put it in the little basket where they search your shit, and every single day they would look at it, look at my plastic, and give it right back to me.
no shit, really.
They would never bat, and me and my friends would all. I don't know how they didn't find it suspicious that 4 of us would show up at like 9 p.m., which is when they stopped charging for parking. So we'd go in for 2-3 hours and leave, but we would all show up with our own Monsters. So I don't know how they did it.
No
Like
shit.
bat an eye to it. Yeah, dude. So that is definitely the easiest way to get drunk.
See these life hacks though. This is what I miss about like pre-pandemic. I know it's kind of like being cheap, but dude, like I don't blame you, bro. Like buying beers at Disneyland is fucking expensive, man. You spend like $10 for a
And
little
not
piece
only
of shit
that,
beer.
they don't sell it. They don't sell it inside Disneyland, the main Disneyland. They don't sell alcohol. If you want alcohol, you have to go to California Adventure.
Yeah.
Well, they do sell it
And
inside
dope.
of Disneyland now. Ever since Star Wars
Oh,
Land
at the
opened,
Star Wars
they
one,
sell
right?
it,
Yeah, you're right.
But I used to have a park hopper, so I didn't care, dude. Like to me, I'd go wherever we'd go get a little bit sauced first, hit up the California Dreamin' or Screamin', I think is the Incredicoaster now. Hit that shit up real quick, have some fun over there, and then go fuck some shit up in
No,
Disneyland.
like don't get me wrong. I would show up with the Monster, and I would still buy a beer in there, But if I
Yeah.
can bring in if it's BYOB, you better believe.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Because it gets expensive, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
There's
dude.
no. I think that's a big everyone knows if you have the opportunity to bring in your own alcohol to Disneyland, everyone will do it, and no one there's gonna be a select few what type of people we're talking about that are gonna be like, oh my god, he brought alcohol. I'm snitching.
Yeah. I think you have the right idea though with that the bigger, the bigger monster that looks like a bullet. You just you do it right, and then no one can tell what you got up in there.
Nope.
So I
And
think
you have
that's
so much of it.
I think that's the strategy right there. As you pretend you don't got shit, but you got everything you got. That's tight.
You got everything you
Yeah,
need.
hell yeah. So that's badass. I gotta try that when the shit goes back to normal.
Yes, you definitely should.
Dang, so obviously I miss the movies a lot. Jose missed amusement parks. What is something that you missed from pre-pandemic times, Bradley?
I want to say the travel. Even though I traveled during the pandemic, but it's not the same because pre-pandemic I went to Argentina, Brazil, and Canada fairly constantly, mainly to Canada. And it's just I have that craving. I want to travel again. I want to be able to take some pictures and do whatever. But I don't know. Plus, I'm just focusing on my job right now to trying to get out and stuff like that, and try to figure out what I want to do. But other than that, I want to say travel and being able to visit friends and stuff. Because right now I could go visit like I did last time, but it's not the same. It's not the same because we can't do the same things that we used to. Before I would go down there and we would go to James Games. We would go to each other's houses. we would be going to the bars and whatnot, and just hang out. But now, like this last time that I went, it was just fine. But like we went to go hang out at Juan's house, and I didn't really get to do much. I didn't even go to the mall or anything like that. So it's just like, it's whatever. But
COVID, man.
Yeah.
So I kind of got like a real question for you guys. Like, where does everyone stand with bars? Like, how do we feel? Like I think we're all kind of millennials here.
Mm-hmm.
How does everyone feel about bars? We cool?
Like,
we like bars? We don't like bars? Like general
bars
consensus?
right now, or like
not in pandemic,
bars
just
in general.
Just
like,
in general. Like so
got
before
it.
the pandemic, like what did we think about bars? How are we feeling? What's our general consensus in here?
Personally, big fan of bars.
Okay. Brandon, what
Big
about
fan of
yourself?
bars.
It depends. It depends because I'm not a. There's a lot of type of bars I want to say, but the ones that I normally go to would be like, I guess very manilial type of bars, very hipster type of bars. I want to say sorry, very hipster type.
You're good.
There's this one called Lotus here, and it's a cider bar. And they have retro video games and stuff like that in there, like Super Nintendo and stuff. So you could be drinking and be playing pool or video games or whatever, and it's actually very chill, very fun. There's other places that I've been to that, like Cider Farm. It's kind of like a slash bar, but farm. And it's normally if you want a day drink, you go there. Because they also have like, they have a lot of testers. They have a pizza joint literally in there. So if you get hungry and stuff, you just buy some pizza and stuff, and then you get this nice scenery of the cider farm and whatnot. But yeah, normally before the pandemic, I was pretty much a bar hopper. I would go to a lot of bars and stuff. Like even one time I was working out with a friend, and after the workout we went straight to a bar and we were just drinking, all sweaty and shit. But yeah, it's just like it wasn't a relaxing like after workout thing,
Yeah.
But I enjoy it, especially like if it's a clean bar, if it's a really nice place to hang out. I'm not that type of person that likes to go to like a pool bar, and it's like people smoking and like you see a bunch of like what's it called, slutty like women in there and us, and like it's just like ruins the whole experience for me and stuff.
You're talking about like the bars that kind of act like a club kind of thing.
Kinda, yeah. Actually, there's a gay bar here in downtown Tacoma. I mean, it's a cool place, but it's just so fucking trashy, dude. It's called I think it's called Unicorn or something like, I don't know, but it's a gay bar. It's a gay bar, and since I have a lot of gay friends and stuff like that,
has that clubby vibe.
Yeah. So it's just like, it's cool because of your friends and stuff like that, but at the same time, like, it's not a place that I would like to go hang out during the day or like on my own.
Oh, okay.
No, I get that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I get that definitely. Because like in downtown Pomona, like that's where I would go bar hopping almost every weekend, because that's just like, what you guys do is like, we're gonna go hang out at this house, gonna do this. Like that was their form of socializing. Like, we're gonna go catch a couple beers at the bars, and they had everything you could think of. You had that, just like, I don't know if you've ever been with Richie to O'Donovan's.
No.
Yeah, O'Donovan's is tight.
Yeah, that place is cool because it's more of like, you stand up or sit down and you're socializing with your friends, rather where you go to like a couple establishments over, you have the DJ fucking bumping, you have people fucking walking around dancing, it's hectic, you can't hear your friends. So that is where I think you're saying like, stay, like, it doesn't catch your attention, because you're like, that's not the right environment to like socialize with your friends, to have, like, people think that's fun and that's what they went to do. But personally for us, I think like, yeah, we're gonna go hang out and where we could like talk about shit, like enjoy each other's company and have a beer at the same time, which is what I think O'Donovan's was perfect for.
So I want to say, as we get older, especially for you, Richie, because you're roughly my age, but as we get older, have you noticed a change of taste in liquor? Because personally, like, I went from cheap liquor to with beer, cheap beer too. Then I went to nicer beer, and then I went to like nice expensive liquor, and then I went to expensive beer, and then I went to ciders and wine and all that stuff. So I started stepping up my game over the years, I guess you could say. Has that happened to you?
If I had to say, as a kid, I was definitely drinking cheap beer, like Colt 45s or Bud Ice or Mickey's or whatever. But I think that was just kind of like a sign of my age. I was just trying to get anything that would get me fucked up, right? So obviously, it wasn't like my intent to drink like good alcohol. And then
it was the getting there.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, well, I just want to get fucked up, and that's the whole point. And then as I got older, like when I could actually buy alcohol by that time, I had already kind of like developed a taste for beer. And I was drinking Dos Equis whenever I like had the choice to drink beer. And I really liked that for a while. And then like I'm currently 29, so the time that I can remember that I was actually like really into choosing a beer was around like 24, 25. And that's when I really got into there's this beer called an Old Rasputin, which is a really dark stout.
Yeah.
It's really good. I like it. And that's like the first time that I started like trying different beers. And like you said, my taste in beer kind of changed. I wanted fancier things just because when I go out, like, dude, I could get a Dos Equis anytime that we grilled or did any stupid ass shit. But right now that I'm out, like, do I want to get another Dos Equis or do I want to try something else? Something that they carry on tap. So my choice did change. And then around that time, I actually started drinking a lot of like whiskey.
Yeah.
And scotch. And now I'm kind of on that. Like, I really like that. Or I really liked that, should I say. Past tense, I really like that. I still do like it. My thing is, though, I kind of don't really like drinking. Like, I don't really give a shit about the feeling, dude. Like, it's kind of cool. It's kind of lame. Like, it's so hard for me to get to that, like, perfect point of, like, riding the line of blackout, but still like conscious of what you're doing, but you just don't give a shit because everything feels good.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's hard to get there. So honestly, like if we're being 100% clear, I'd rather get stoned. I think getting high is a lot better feeling, and it just like I don't know, dude. Like whenever I get really stoned, like really good stoned, I love the feeling of like my whole body being on channel like 3. That's like a reference for those of you who like grew up in the old school, like put your TV on channel 3 to play video games. But it's basically like white noise.
Yeah.
So my body feels like that, and like to me, that's a way better feeling than being drunk. So I would say that at my current age, I don't even really care too much about alcohol. I'd rather just get really stoned, and not like excessively stoned where like I dab and I do all this stuff and like all I talk about is getting high and like that's my personality. But like if I had the choice of like using something or like doing a substance, it would probably 110% be marijuana.
So what about you, Jose? Like, do you start noticing at your age right now that you're changing on your taste buds?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, because I wasn't a big drinker. Like, I don't think I had my first beer till like, I think I'm on the later end of the spectrum, maybe 19, close to 20. Like where I had my first like own beer, like I would sneak sips from like my dad's Bud Lights and shit. And like I never liked it, but then when I noticed that like this is what my friends are doing, this is like what socializing is. I started, and like Richie said, we all started in the same boat. King Cobra, Colt 45, Mickey's, And to this day, I still go, like, if I want to just have a beer while I'm studying or just hanging out, I will go get myself a King Cobra just so I can, like, remember where I'm from, like, humble myself. But it doesn't taste good.
And that when Jose's electricity went out. So sorry, guys, to cut it off at this point, but we had some technical issues, but that'll be all for this week. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week with a new episode of Dubious. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, the pizza at Poison Juan was Pizza Hut, so now you know.